All right, welcome everybody. Today we are going to be talking about sovereignty and practice. This is a 4-month series. We're going to go over 4 different pillars. Today's pillar is spiritual economics. I'm your host, Trey Minor. So, let's get some housekeeping out the way first. These are container and safety rules. We ask that you be committed to education, focus on systems and not secrets. No harmful or illegal practices. We also ask you that we respect people's privacy. What is shared here stays here. This is a community consent space. We ask that this be a judgment-free zone. We all here to build, not to compare. Everyone is here at a different point in their lives, a different point in their journey. We want to just highlight that and let people know that it's okay to be where you are right now. We're going to double tap on being in a different journey. Like I said, everything that's shared here stays here. It's consensual. So we're going to talk about what spiritual economics means. Spiritual economics is handling money with intention, ethics, and awareness. If anybody in the back, this is my nephew. He's going off right now. All right. It is recognizing money as a tool and not something to be worshipped and not something to be feared. It is about aligning your finances with the values while maintaining or remaining strategic. You can be spiritual and structured at the same time. This removes confusion and leads to clear decisions. When you gain clarity, you reduce stress. When you reduce stress, you gain power. So here's our roadmap for the next few months. All right. So we have month 1, which is going to be our spiritual economics, where we focus on systems of stability. Month 2 is going to be our cultural protection. We're going to be defending traditions and spaces. Month 3, we're going to really hammer in on land and food sovereignty, building physical independence. And month 4, we'll talk about lineage repair when it comes to healing what's passed down, generational trauma and stress of just being Black in America. Problems we're solving today. We're trying to get through learning about perversive life pressures impacting clarity, health, and connections. Trying to get us out of survival mindsets, taught to survive, and not taught how money works as a community. Reactionary living, reacting to stuff instead of planning and creating uncertainty. The goal is to shift from being reactionary to being intentional. When you understand money, it stops controlling you. So here we have what's called a wealth cycle, where we go through and kind of give you an idea of what we're trying to do here. We're going to be planting. Planting was basically building skills and building knowledge. Then we're going to be tending. You can't harvest without tending. It's going to be working on consistency, systems, and discipline. Then you have harvest. From that work, you're going to get income, opportunities, and growth. And from that growth and harvest, we're going to be stewards of what we've created. And then we start the cycle all over again. Money clarity, knowing the numbers. So a lot of times we see money as something to fear. We don't really understand it and how it works, but you can fix that. You can't fix what you don't face. Clarity is the first step to controlling that. All right. So as you see this little column here, we have our income and our expenses. The whole basis of is understanding what that means and going through your numbers. Identifying financial reality, knowing your situation intimately. What's your fixed situation? What's your variable situation? These terms are used with intention because a lot of times you have fixed rates and variable rates. So we kind of work that in. We're going to do a leak audit. All right. This is what we want you to do as far as look at little things in your life that cause drainage on your finances. This could be subscriptions that you forget to cancel, impulse buys, tracking small, frequent, unplanned purchases. That could be that Starbucks coffee. It could be that plant at the store, or just something random that you see that you want. We're also going to talk about trigger spending. This is understanding your emotions when it comes to spending stuff. If you're stressed out, you're having a bad day, you might think, hey, you know what? I want that ice cream, or hey, I need that new game or that new television. It's going to make me feel better. These little traps and holes that can get you caught up. Budgeting as a ritual. This is something that we want you to start working into your lives, where you sit down weekly and tend, like we said earlier. You're going to be setting a consistent appointment, weekly schedule, where you review your accounts and review your money, and you tell it where to go. You're going to create a space. That can be something simple as lighting a candle, playing some music, and making it a positive experience when you sit down and go over your money. Making it something that you don't fear, but something that you look forward to. We want you to try to work this in the next 30 days if possible. Consistency over perfection. Just start. It doesn't have to be a perfect plan. Just start doing the little things, making that time weekly, sitting down, looking at your money, seeing where it goes, checking bank statements, make it something that's consistent. The goal is not perfection, but discipline and confidence. So here we have our savings ladder. This is a tool you can use to kind of help you get on the right path. We start with a starter buffer. This is trying to save around about $100 to $500 a month, right? This is something that you can do to help with unexpected costs and expenses. Then from there, once you get that handled or once you get that mastered, we go from a 30-day essential. Have enough money to last for 30 days if something happens. Your essential, your bills, food, grocery, gas, all that stuff. Once you master that, we start looking at our 3-month to 6-month emergency fund. All right. That's having 3 to 6 months of your essential pay or essential funds stacked up so that if anything major happens, someone loses their job, someone gets ill, you're still financially stable. You can keep your head above water. And then from there, level 4 is when we talk about investing in ownership. You take all those funds and put them into something, and they start making money for you. That could be small investments, that could be stock, starting a business, whatever that may be. It's just all about building up from there. First step is building confidence. All right, saving equals peace, and preparedness equals stability. But it all starts with one step: save a little money. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about is cutting costs without cutting joy. That saving money is about attention and not deprivation. You can still have fun, still live life, and still save a little bit back and make some money. The power of intention. Saving money is a mind shift. All right, prioritizing what you truly value, finding creative ways to meet what you need. All right. One of my favorite things to do, I threw it in here, is embrace repair and buy used. Me and my wife are thrifters. We go to Goodwill, thrift shops on a weekly basis. We find things that are in pretty decent repair and we go ahead and fix them up and we use them around the house. Saves us money and it kind of gives us some pride in what we're doing. Big 3 saving areas. So these are areas that people can look at when you go through those bills and kind of work around. So it'd be reducing overhead costs in your home, being a little bit more energy efficient, maybe finding ways to cut back on energy, opening up more windows, using less air conditioning, learning how to use renewable resources like water, sunlight, solar, all these things, and just being more creative when it comes to kind of cutting your bills. Transportation, carpooling with other people, getting to know a good mechanic, to be able to fix your vehicles for a better cost versus going to a dealership. And then food plan. This is my favorite one right here. My wife's great at this. We work at meal plans and pantry first cooking. So with this, we look at what we have, and she keeps it organized. So we can look in our pantry, see exactly what we have, and plan around how we're going to use that versus going out to eat, ordering in, or whatever. Just kind of keeps it in mind of doing that proactively. The biggest thing to take away from it is we find simple joy in those little things, right? Creating community and finding joy in simple pleasures like shared meals, like we just said. Needs are met with ingenuity and not consumption. So it's all about using that ingenuity that our ancestors passed down to be able to come up with a way to keep enjoying your life. Another tool we talk about is the 4-bucket method. This is where you take these 4 different categories and you're going to bust down percentages from your overall income to kind of help you understand where your money goes and track it better. So just for example, we gave 10% to the community that's supporting through mutual aids and building community wealth. That could be a Boys and Girls Club, a retirement home, mutual aid, something that puts back into the community. Then we save 22% for conserve. We conserve that and put that towards savings, emergency fund, protecting our financial future. Then we go with circulate. That's our biggest pot right there, our biggest chunk. That's going to be our recovering our rotating bills, covering our needs, daily expenses, and maintaining our basic lifestyle. And then we go to create. 20% goes to developing skills, going back to school, learning classes, investment, something that's going to grow our wealth and grow our future. Here we have what we call sinking funds. This is to kind of help prevent crisis. I'm really passionate about this. You're going to have predictable future costs. We all know that. So things like car maintenance, holidays, medical copays, school costs, things that are predictable that you know are going to happen every 30 days or so, or are going to come up on a yearly basis. The goal is to plan for these things, right? If you know you have maintenance coming on your vehicle, having that money saved up for that so it doesn't hit you over the head. Same thing for holidays, birthdays, Christmas, kind of having a way to save that money back, putting that 20% back so you're prepared for when those things come. And medical copays, that's a big one now here with the way the current administration is working. Copays and medical is going up at a rapid rate. So being able to save money and produce money to handle that change is important. The whole point of this is it turns emergencies into inconveniences. I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but I'd rather deal with an inconvenience than the emergency of having to stress out and try to find a way to pay a big bill or something that comes out of nowhere. Debt strategy. This is another tool that you can use. You have what we call a debt snowball versus a debt avalanche, right? A debt snowball is going to be on your micro level. That's going to be you take your smallest debt, you're going to pay it off. That's anywhere between $100 to $300. Then from there, you take the next biggest debt, all right? $500 to $1,000. You keep using that extra money that you get from paying off that debt to snowball and get bigger and bigger to pay off those bigger debts. Then what we have is called the avalanche technique. You're gonna look at your most high interest loan or high interest debt. As you see here, we have an example of 28%. You're gonna pay that off first because most of you don't know that interest will eat you alive at that high rate. Pay that off first. Do whatever you gotta do, get that knocked out. Then from there, you hit the next highest interest rate, 18%. And just like the snowball effect, we're gonna create that momentum and start paying stuff off. That's the whole goal, to get out from under the thumb of that pressure of debt. The action checklist that we have here is, first thing, like we said before, you're gonna stop those debt leaks. You're gonna fix leaks by not adding new debt. You're gonna look at your subscriptions, look at all the little things that you spend your money on that aren't necessary, plug them up. Next thing is negotiating interest rates whenever you can, all right? This is talking to your banks, talking to your lenders, and trying to get that best interest rate, especially if it's gonna be more for long-term investment or a long-term loan. Third thing, the most important thing, is be consistent. Pay on time, stay uphold to your agreements and contracts, knock it out, because one missed payment they hit you over the head with. So here's another one I'm passionate about. This is called civil rights, not to be confused with civil rights. And to kind of give you an idea what that means, civil rights opened the door for us as Black people. They kind of helped us get our foot in the door. Civil rights keep that door open and lets people in. This concept came from John Hope Bryant. It's an investor that I follow. He talks about learning your credit, learning how it works, understanding credit utilization, knowing your credit score and how it impacts your life, and timely payments, like we talked about earlier. This knowledge is not prevalent in our community. We don't talk about it enough. We don't go over it enough. But I can tell you that our counterparts, our Caucasian counterparts, are very intimate with this, all right? We need to know how our credit affects us, what we can use it for, and how to build it. Financial shields. This is having a good relationship with your banker, all right? Especially if you're in a small town banks, or if you're a credit union or whatever. Having that good relationship, going to talk to them, seeing what their opportunities are, seeing what kind of offers they have for that month or what kind of promotions they have is great. If something pops up, it's more likely for them to reach out to you and say, hey, you know what? We have a cut on interest rate. You can refinance at a lower rate. Having that good relationship and not being scared of the institution is a big part of that. Keeping proper documentation. This is a big one in our community. A lot of times I ask people, do you know where your birth certificate is? Do you know where your social security card is? Oh, I think my grandma got it. I think my mama got it. Do you know what the contract for your bank loans are? Do you know what your interest rate is? A lot of times our community doesn't know that. We're like, I don't know. This is the big one right here. Keeping proper documentation, keeping deeds, records, birth certificates, death certificates, all the proper documentation that you need on hand is important, all right? And there could be opportunities that you miss out on because you don't have it available. Other thing is understanding the system rules, all right? Reading that fine print, that's a big deal. Avoid predatory traps. We're gonna talk about like payday loans. If you look in the Black community, you can find a payday loan. You can throw a rock and probably hit one easily. These are predatory loans at high interest rates, anywhere between 30 to 99%. You have rent-to-own scams, places like Rent-A-Center and all these rent-to-own businesses, or even rent-to-home properties, where you're going to be eaten alive by an interest rate or processing fee to pay a little bit of the principal just to have an opportunity to own it in 30 years. Or you could be paying a mortgage instead. High interest financing. All right, same thing we said before. Getting a loan for something that you need, and they hit you over the head with something like a 50% interest rate. One of the other traps we talk about is that fine print. We don't read the fine print. All right, there's so many loopholes and there's so many things that in that fine print that you need to understand. And there's even situations where you can cross out those things if you don't agree with them. Knowledge protects you. Understanding is freedom. Liberation through knowledge is our goal today. We're going to talk about income protection and risk management. All right. So all this today is to help you to create a security plan. All right, or a income security plan. So if crisis happens, you know your numbers, you know how to refine decision points, and you know how to explore your options. Uh, with that, you can have a stabilization plan or stabilization strategy. We suggest having some type of side hustle or some type of skill, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. Using a specific type of insurance. There's insurances out there. If you do lose your job, if something does happen, that you're covered. Look into that. That's a great way to kind of help you balance things out. Mutual aids. Then you also can look out for identity and scam guard. This is a big one in our community, especially with our elderly people. Identifying scams and being aware, monitoring your accounts, getting something like Experian or Credit Karma to know what's on your credit report, to be able to monitor it in real time. Using strong passwords for two-step verification, and verify requests. If you see an email saying that, hey, someone tried to use your account or someone tried to log in, look into it. It's important. Somebody's trying to get to your information. The more you're prepared, the less vulnerable you become. Stability is built through foresight and not just income. So like I said before, having that side hustle, you need to look into your gifts as assets, right? They're a sense of currency. If you can cook, organize, fix something, design something, teach, or even know how to do childcare, these are things that you can use. Hey, little man. Okay. These are things you can use. Question that you need to ask yourself: what do people ask you for specifically? Uh, this is how a way you can understand. If someone asks you, "Hey, can you sew this for me?" Or "Hey, can you cook this for me? Can you design this for me? Can you help my kids with their homework?" These are skills that you have that you can use to turn into assets and turn into a way of making some extra money. Uh, thing is to identify your core skills, recognize those skills as economic currency, structure your offers with clear value. That means knowing what your skills are worth, looking at other people, looking at other places, with comparative market analysis, and understanding what your skills are worth on the market. Build ability to refine and structure your skills. Always work to improve yourself. So we talk about that with value creation, all right? Find that problem that you want to solve or what people ask you about. Clarify the offer that you're trying to ask for and know the problem that you're trying to solve. Create an offer, all right? Structure yourself as a business. Doesn't mean always going to get an LLC, but it means looking at yourself in a professional manner and proof and clarity. Because that beats the hype over everything else, right? If you know what you're talking about, know what you can do, know what you provide, people will see that value. Price with dignity. Don't price for guilt. All right. We see a lot of that in our community. People kind of undercut themselves when it comes to pricing themselves out, and then they keep their head above water. A lot of times in the Black community, we see restaurants that'll open up. We'll see businesses that'll open up. Great price. Everybody loves it. But then they fade out because they price themselves out the community because they're not making enough money or they're not doing enough things to properly keep that income coming in because they want to be able to support themselves and support the community. So price accordingly. We talked about skills earlier. This is going to talk about stacking skills, all right? So if you're that person that's good at cooking or repairing, but you got some technical skills and teaching and communication, put them together, all right? Create new offerings, all right? Maybe do cooking classes online, provide services, do virtual assistance. It's all about taking what you do. It could be your hobby and maybe some skills that you learn at your job, putting that together and creating new opportunities for yourself. We're going to talk about bartering and community exchange. This is the big one I really, really push for. With this, we're going to look at spiritual economics and the community solutions by essential barter rules. All right, this is Barter, if you're not familiar with the word bartering, that's basically trading or using something that you have as a sense of currency. And when you do this, we ask people have clear terms, know exactly what your product's worth, know exactly what their product's worth, and have an understanding what you're trading for. Have mutual consent, all right? Have that agreement, have that good relationship with the person that you're bartering with. Written agreement if needed. If it's more of a service, it's okay to have a written agreement. Have something that protects you. Doing community swaps, all right? So skill swaps are really big because this is how our community back in the day used to kind of get through hard times. Hey, I need somebody to watch my kids on a Saturday night. Uh, can't find a babysitter, but I know how to do hair. I'll do your daughter's hair if she can watch my child. Stuff like that. Or, hey, I need a ride, but I can repair your air conditioning. All right. So you're trading time and your skills for other people's time and skills. Cooking tutorial, you kind of get the idea. The whole point is called time bank concept, right? So you're going to bank your hours. You're going to have your banked hours, stuff that you know or time that you know you can use to put towards something else. Give those hours, then receive those hours back from someone else, either be a service or some type of favor or whatever, and use that as a way of currency to make those creative things happen and meet those creative needs. We talked about circulation equals protection. By spending your money locally, circulating dollars within community, businesses, and Black-owned vendors, you kind of help protect the community from outside influences. Consistency creates stability. Regular support with is more powerful than occasional large purchases. A lot of times we'll see, I'm gonna spend my money with this person, and you wait, you save up. Where in actuality is that consistency in buying the little things, if it be your local farmer's market, your local store, using your local handyman, those little buys keep that business afloat versus saving up and waiting for the big buys. All right. And plus, it keeps you in front of the person that you're talking to. Strength through relationships. Who feeds your family should know your name. We talked about it earlier. Being in front of that person, that local face, so they know who you are and they know that, hey, your product helps me keep my head above water. I'm going to talk about cooperative economics. All right. So this is bulk buying circles. I used to see this back in the day with my grandmother and her friends. So what happens is you'll have a group of people, usually women who do the grocery shop in the house. They'll get together, go to a local bulk store like Costco, Sam's Club, or one of those bulk buying stores. And what happens is they pull their money together, buy a giant thing of toilet tissue, meat, detergent, soap, whatever it may be, seeds, rice, and they divide that up between themselves. The cost per pound is a lot cheaper that way, and everybody's saving a little bit more money than going to buy it individually. In the military, we're big on this one. Shared tool libraries, we use that a lot. So you might not have the tool you need. You might not have that hoe. You might not have that tiller machine. You might not have a ladder or a hammer or whatever you need, a crock pot. These areas of shared tools where you go in, sign out or rent something temporarily, use it, bring it back in better shape than what you got it, and that keeps the community going. That way you don't have to go out and do a large purchase for something. You might not have $500 for a new machine, but you can rent it for maybe $2, $3 a day and still get what needs to be done. My favorite one, community market days. All right. You're going to create direct sales, trade, support spaces. All right. This is where the community gets together, maybe at your local farmer's market or at a place where everybody agrees on. And you do swaps. You trade for preserves, vegetables, seeds, meats, and everybody's swapping for what they need. It's a low cost situation, and everybody kind of gets what they need from the community. And it's a good way to meet your neighbors. Giving back without going broke. That's another thing too, as a community, we have to really work on, is that you don't always have to give your last. You can give what you can, because you got to take care of yourself first. If you pour from an empty, you can't pour from an empty cup. Uh, Establish your consecration cup or bucket, like we talked about earlier, where you have a set amount that you know you're going to spend, pour back into the community, and don't go over that amount. Stick with it until you start making more money, then increase it. But until then, stick with what you're comfortable with. Set a healthy amount, a healthy limit, and go from there. You're going to pour that back into, like we said, mutual aids, legacy projects, maybe elderly care, youth initiatives like Boys and Girls Club, community resources like your local wealth center or health center, and help them build and grow, because these are things that help protect your community as well. Giving as a legacy, intentionally supporting elders and youth initiatives within your means, forward-looking and sustainable is never guilt-driven. Do it because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. We want to try to help you develop a 30-day spiritual economic plan. All right, for the next 30 days, we want you to pick a subject that we talked about. If it be saving goals, saving that $100, that starter buffer, to $500. If it be a debt goal, maybe plugging up those leaks, going through your Netflix, your Instagram, all those different little things that can hit you for monthly and closing out what you don't need, those monthly subscriptions. A skill goal. And if that be taking the next 30 days and learning a new skill, maybe learn how to repair something, how to cook something, how to fix something, how to sew something. Just giving yourself more tools in your toolbox. Bartering. Find a place where you can barter, right? If you have a green thumb or if you're good at something, barter those skills, barter that product that you make, and make that connection with somebody else. Learn your community. If you really want to break it down, there's a 72-hour challenge. 72-hour challenge is just start now. Take one action in the next 72 hours. That could be something as simple as making a commitment, drawing out a plan. Just do something today. We ask that you continue to do weekly check-ins. Once you start your 30-day plan, do a weekly check-in. Look at your progress, review it, adjust if necessary, maybe put less money into it or try a different route, whatever you need to do. But if there's a win, celebrate it. The biggest one I like, because this works for me and my wife, is having a buddy system. Having someone you can talk to help you keep accountability, to keep on your neck a little bit, but hey, did you do that thing? Did you look at your debt? Did you count this up? One thing that we started implementing, we took on a different level, was that every year at December, we plan for the next following year after the holidays. So we sit down, we rent a space, and we take about 2 hours to go through our finances, go through our plans for the next year, what we want to achieve, what vacations we want to take, what things we want to make happen, and we plan it out. And every quarter, we sit back down again at home and look at our progress and adjust from there. To wrap things up, we're going to talk about next month real quick, and then we'll get you guys out of here. The next month preview is cultural protection. We're going to talk about appropriation versus exchange, understanding the critical difference, all right? Knowing the boundaries of respectful trade. We're also going to talk about spaces of consent, privacy and consent, protecting what is sacred in our community, and community agreements, containers that honor everyone else. This is about respecting people, respecting the elders, and keeping those things within our community. We're going to have a discernment checklist, a way to evaluate what can be shared and what needs to stay in the community. And we're also going to have a save the date, and I'll have that posted up here pretty soon. Your foundation supports this work, so we ask that you guys continue to come out, help us out, spread the word. We'll be posting this video a little bit later. And from there, we thank you for coming out. We appreciate it.